Hello and welcome to this video about the new features of MAXQDA 2022. My name is Julia and I'm excited to take you on a tour of everything that's new. From the new QTT workspace to a new visual tool, the Word Explorer, new workspaces for paraphrases and survey answers, new import and export options, and last but not least, the MAXQDA TeamCloud, which supports those that work as a research team. We've got a lot of features to cover, so let's get started. So let's get started. The first feature I want to introduce you to is called QTT. You can find it in the analysis menu, and QTT stands for Question, Themes and Theories. It's a new workspace where you can create worksheets for each topic that is important to your research and then add elements from MAXQDA into the worksheets to store them for your reports later. Let's take a look. If I open the QTT, you can see a menu up here where you can organize your worksheets, and then down here is my worksheet on work-life balance and cognitive well-being. It's related to the research question, how separation between work and free time contributes to cognitive well-being. And then down here are sections for different types of elements. You can see up here related codes and themes. This is where I've added some codes that are relevant to this topic. And each section has an insight field at the end. So you can add your notes and insights as you go and write down all of your thoughts that you want to keep for later, why you selected these, how they relate to the question, and so on. If I go to important segments, you can see that I have some quotes from the data that are important, again followed by the insight box. You can add summary tables, memos, visual tools, maps, and the last tab is the integration tab. This one is for you to write up the conclusion across all of the sections and your theories, so you can really use them later when you have to write your report. Let's create a new worksheet to see how it works in real life. So first I have to add a subject, let's say maybe family and friends. Then I would add my research question. Question goes here. I click OK. And my new worksheet is created. It's now completely empty and I can start filling it with elements. For the codes, I just click on Add Elements, get a list of my codes, and then select the ones that I want to import. And now I can, of course, add my insights here. The same works for the memos and for the summary tables and the maps. For each of them, you just get a list of everything in your project, and you can add it as you go. Important segments is a little bit different because these are added via drag and drop. So you can drop coded segments here. It's really quick and easy. You just drag a segment over. And as you can see, the comment, if I've added a comment, is also added down here, and I can start adding my insights. What's also a little different than the others is the visual tools, because the way this works is that you start by creating a visual tool. Let's say I want to add a document portrait for my interview with Selim. I can now organize it exactly how I need it. Oh yeah, this is what I want to use in my report. Now instead of having to take a screenshot, remembering where I saved it, and adding my notes in a Word document or however you used to work before, you can now just say send to QTT, select the worksheet it relates to. It is added to the worksheet right away, and I can write down my notes right beside it, so I always have it exactly where I need it. And at the end, when I'm done with all of my elements and I want to export it, you just click up here and it exports it to a layouted Word document that you can easily use to start writing your reports. On to the next feature. The next feature is called the Profile Comparison Chart. It's a new visual tool and you can find it in the Visual Tool menu. What the Profile Comparison Chart does is that it displays documents or groups of documents in a way that I can analyze code frequencies and variable values at once and identify similarities and differences in the data. So when I open up the Profile Comparison Chart, it first tells me to select which documents I want to import, I want to analyze. So I can click up here, I will choose single documents and use my activated documents. Then I have to select codes and or variables. I will do both. I will select my activated codes about families and friends. And then I will also select variables, the number of children I'm interested in and the age of my interviewers. After I click OK, you can see down here in the chart that on the left I have the documents that I've selected. Each of the document has a different color, so I can identify them here on the right. Then the visualization itself has columns. Here are my 2 code columns for family and friend, and here are my 2 variable columns. And then for each of the documents, a line is added to the visual tool that tells me how often this code occurs or what the variable value, for example, the number of children for Selim here is 3. This makes it easy to see which of the lines follow a similar path and which are quite different. You can color them each in a different color or use one of the options up here. For example, I can color them by the number of children they have and then quickly see that those that don't have children are the green lines and those that have the most children are the blue lines. So it's really easy to just identify if there are some similarities in here. There's lots of options up here that you can explore, for example, using a different color scheme. And of course, you can also send this to your QTT worksheet to save it and add your notes to it right away. Let's take a look at the next feature, which is the Word Explorer. The Word Explorer lives in the Analysis tab. You can find it right here. And what it does, it allows you to explore how a word or a phrase is used across all of your data in an interactive dashboard view. So if I click on the Word Explorer, the window opens up. I can limit it to activated documents or codes, which I'm going to do, and then I just enter something here in the Explore text field, and I hit Explore, and the dashboard is now filled with the information that I was looking for. Let's go through the sections one by one. Here at the top, I can see where in my data the word friend occurs. So I have 31 hits in total, and those are found in 5 different documents, 1 document group and 2 document sets. Then on the right, I can see where in my own writing the word occurs. I have a few memos, comments, summaries, and paraphrases in which I have used the word friend. Then down here, I can see in which of my documents the word occurred the most frequently. So I have the interview with Tan and Riley and so on. And here, this little graph shows me where exactly in the interview the topic occurred. So I can see that the theme friendship and friends seems to have occurred in the middle of each of these interviews. Then I can also see which code was often used to code the word. Down here I can see the most frequent word combinations, friends, better, meet friends, meeting friends, and I can see the most frequent context words that occur. In a context of maybe 5 words before and after the word, you can select the context space up here in the advanced options. This dashboard is interactive, so if I want to dig deeper into my data, you can see that all of these elements are interactive, so I can take a look at the memos, or let's say I want to take a look at those 5 hits in the interview with Selim, so I just click and the search result table opens up and I can jump right to the source and see what this topic is all about. If you're not interested in any of these, you can also turn each of the sections on and off to save space, and you can change the number of how many entries you want to see here up here in the menu. And you can also apply stop lists or lematize and see all of these other options, but I'm going to leave you to explore them for yourself. The next new feature I want to introduce you to is a very exciting feature. It's called the MAXQDA TeamCloud, and it is a tool that allows for a team of up to 5 researchers to work together in the same project. Let's see how this works. Here in the menu, you can find the new entry for TeamCloud. And if I open it, you will see the option that I can now sign into my MAXQDA TeamCloud account. So let's take a look at how this works. With the MAXQDA TeamCloud, you get a secure cloud space to share files across team members. Each of the team members analyzes their data offline, but use this cloud space to share their work online. MAXQDA organizes the team communication and handles all of the file up and downloads and the import processes. It's for teams of up to 5 researchers. They are 2 different types of researchers. Each of them needs a MAXQDA TeamCloud account, which is a free account that you can just create on the MAXQDA TeamCloud webpage. But one of the team members is a team lead, which is the person that manages the team, and that person needs a TeamCloud license, which is a paid add-on module that you can purchase in the MAXQDA online shop. Each of the team members just need a free TeamCloud account, and of course, everybody needs a MAXQDA installation. Teamwork is organized in cycles. Let's have a quick look before we dive into each of the steps a little more deeper. The way it works is that you have the team lead who uploads the project, invites team members, they join the project, and then they can download the project the lead uploaded onto their own computers. They work locally on their computers, on Windows or Mac, it doesn't matter. And then when they're done, they upload the work they've done. The team lead is notified and can then import that into the main project file and then decide if the teamwork is finished after one cycle or start a new project cycle by now providing the new and updated project file to each of the team members. So the cycle continues as long as it needs to. Let's take a look at each of the steps. So what the team lead has to do to upload a project is just open an existing MAXQDA project, MAXQDA, go to the TeamCloud ribbon, sign into their TeamCloud account. Then they will see new options that appear on the menu. And the one important now is to upload this project for the team. If they click on this button, the project is transformed into a TeamCloud project and uploaded to the team lead's cloud space in the TeamCloud. In the next step, the team lead invites the team members to join the project. This is done within the TeamCloud website. MAXQDA will automatically guide you to the place where you can then enter the email address of each of the project members to invite them and add a message if you need to. The team members then receive an email that they are invited to join a project. If they click on the Join Project button, the team lead again gets an email notification that the team member has joined. And within MAXQDA, there's also recent activity for each of the projects. So they will always see if there's any news to the project that they are managing as a team lead. Now for the team members that have joined the project, they open up MAXQDA, log into their TeamCloud account in the welcoming screen, and then they have a second tab. So you have the orange tab for the local project and the team projects tab for the projects that are shared with the team. They will find some information and see that a new download is available. Just double click on it to open it and then continue to work with the file just like they would in any other MAXQDA research project. So each of the team members works locally, can take full advantage of the computers they use, do not have to be online or wait for an online connection or anything until they are finished and want to upload their work back to the team lead. For this, there's an option in the team members ribbon, which is called Upload the project for the team lead. Once they click on it, they can add a note so that the team lead knows what type of work has been done, if anything is missing, if there are any comments that are important. The team member uploads it and can then just lean back and wait until the team lead has imported it and started a new cycle. The team lead now, on the other hand, receives the notification in MAXQDA and also via email that a new import is available. The team lead now clicks on the Import a Team Member's Files icon and then sees which of the team members have uploaded data, see if they added a comment, and if they have imported it yet or not. If the team lead now clicks on Import, the team lead will see all of the information that has been changed or added to the project and can select precisely which data they want to import or which data they want to ignore, and then import all of the team members' work into the main project file that is still on the team lead's computer. Once this step is done, the team lead has two choices. Either they say, okay, we're finished, we can end this team project. They can just export the TeamCloud project from the menu as a local project and store it just like they would any other project. Or they say, we have to get going here. And so instead they click on upload the project for the team again and start a new cycle. Each of the team members will now receive a notification in their welcome screen that a new download is available for this project and which cycle has been started, so they can then open it again, view their assignments, get working, and continue the analysis. So this way you can just continue in these cycles as long as needed, and the team lead decides when they're finished and just export the project again. The next two features I want to show you are new import options. The first one will be quite exciting for everybody who likes to work with, for example, Word or PDF, and then add comments and highlights to the documents before adding them to MAXQDA. I do want to point out that you can do both within MAXQDA, but for some reason, if you didn't have MAXQDA or you weren't aware of it, you can now add this document into MAXQDA. MAXQDA will recognize those elements easily. So what I will do is I'm going to just take this document and import it. And now what you can see is that MAXQDA transformed my comment into a memo that's added at the same place, of course, and it has transformed the highlights into specific codes, the Word and PDF text highlight codes, and applied them to the data exactly where I used them. So you can now continue all of your work with all of the work you've done before right inside of MAXQDA. And of course, I just want to show you, you can go ahead and also use the highlighters within MAXQDA to do the same work here. The next import option is a new interactive focus group transcript import. You can find it here under focus group transcripts. And you've been able to import focus groups with automatic speaker detection for a while now. But let's take a look at what the focus group looks like. The way it works is that MAXQDA recognizes wherever a paragraph starts with a word followed by a colon. So that works perfectly in most transcript, but sometimes you have something like the location that follows the same formatting, and which is not a speaker, or maybe you have a typo in your document, and then it's really hard to clean up the data after you've imported into MAXQDA. So now what you can do is you just go into MAXQDA, you go and import the transcript that we just looked at, and MAXQDA will show you a little dialog of all of the speakers that it found. So you can now go in here and say, okay, location, deselect them because you don't want to import them as speakers. And you can check if any of your speakers had a spelling error somewhere. So I have Andy, and I can see this should be the same person. So what I can go is go here to target and just choose the correct speaker name. I can also, if I like to, go in here and select different colors for each of the speakers to make it easier to identify who is who later. And then I click import, and MAXQDA has now recognized all of the speakers that I was interested in and applied the correct speaker code so I can continue my analysis. Let's take a look at a new analytical features connected to the summaries. If you're not familiar with this, in MAXQDA there's a summary grid, which means that for some documents and their codes you can check in the summary grid. Let's look for a good example, like here. You can see that interview with Matteo, you have two coded segments connected to domestic work or coded with the code domestic work. And you can see the coded segments here, and then you can add your own summary. So you can summarize the coded data into your own words. After you've created a lot of summaries, you can then combine them in summary tables, which presents summaries across multiple people in one table. So here I have 3 documents. I have Riley, Matteo, and Selim, and then I have all of their summaries for the code typical workday. And this is now where the new feature comes in, which is a case or topic summary, which you can use to summarize the topic typical workday across all of the documents. Up here in the summary table, you will see a new memo icon. If I click to open it, you can see that the code memo editor opens up, and at the bottom a new field appears for my code summary. Now, a code memo is typically used for a code definition, for example here, or coding assignments. But now I can use this to look at my 3 summaries and then summarize the topic typical workday across multiple cases down here. This is where I would type it. This code summary is available whenever you work with memos. So if I open the code memo from the code system, you will also see this code summary field, and you can open or close it to enter your code summary. Very similarly, but the other way around, is the case summary, which is, let's say, I can switch my summary table to show the document at the top. So now I have my documents up here, and then I have all of the summaries for Riley down here across multiple topics. Again, I can use this icon to open up the document memo for Riley, and then add a document summary, which summarizes my summaries across multiple topics. And just like the code memo summary, this is also available in all of the document summaries. So if I open up a document memo here from the document system, you'll always see this area down here, and you can open and close it. And of course, it is included in all of the exports and whenever you use a memo somewhere else. So that's a new way to summarize your summaries on a topic or a case level. The next new feature is the updated emoticode functionality. MAXQDA has been able to use symbols or emojis to code with for a long time. And as a reminder, let's take a look at MAXQDA 2020. Let's say I want to code something. I could click here on the little emoji symbol, and then I would have my emoticode window, and I could select which emoticode to use and apply it to my data. Now, as you can see, the variety was quite limited, and we've all grown to be very familiar with thousands of emojis that we use on our smartphones and so on. So what we did in MAXQDA 2022, if I do the same thing, I select something and I open up the emoticode window, you will see that we now take full advantage of the native emojis already implemented in your Mac or in your Windows system. So you can go through, you have skin tone variations, you have gender variations, and you can just use the same emojis that you already know from your phones and use them to code your data without having to add a code name. This functionality is especially interesting to those working in cross-language teams or whenever you want to apply code, but don't want to think about the name of the category yet. We'll hope you really enjoy working with this colorful new feature. The next 2 improvements are also related to coding, which we know is a very central part of your work. Let's look at the first thing, which is a code name suggestion. If you go to your text and you click on new code, you can now enter a new code name. But in MAXQDA 2022, as soon as you start typing, MAXQDA will suggest existing codes down here, so you can make sure you don't create a duplicate by accident, or you can very quickly find exactly the code you were looking for and don't have to look through the whole code system to find it. So we hope this will greatly improve the speed at which you're able to code your data. The second one is connected to the changing the size of a segment. So let's say here I'm going to click on the flexibility coding stripe, and as soon as I do that, the coded segment is highlighted in the code color in the text, and these 2 grabbers appear. Now I can use the grabber and just drag it somewhere else, click OK, and now the coding was updated to the new size. So it's really quickly to go through your code system, to your codes, check them and make sure they're the correct length. And of course, if you check this box, don't ask again, you won't have to click on OK every time. You just have to drag it and the code is resized. Okay, the next new feature is for everybody who's working with answers to open-ended questions. There's functionality right here called categorize survey data. If I open it, I can drag in one of my survey answers. This is already filled, so I can drag in a code from the code system. I want it for all of my answers, and then click OK to view the updated survey data categorizing workspace. The beginning is pretty similar to before, it's just that now the icons all have a label and they're a little bit bigger, so it's just easier to understand what's going on and easier to use. Down here I can see all of the responses to this question, my 22 responses. And up here I have new functionality to use. Because let's say I'm interested in types of flexible work arrangements and I want to find out how many people are talking about home office. Of course I can go through here and code each of the answers with a new code. Or you can use the new search and auto code up here. Type in, for example, home, run your search, and now the responses are filtered to only show those responses that have the word home in them. And I can go up here on the auto code icon and auto code the complete response. So MAXQDA now knows a new category of text. Before, you were always able to auto-code a word or a sentence or a paragraph or a word and a certain number of words before and after that. But now a response to a survey answer is one unit that you can auto-code all at once. So if I click on auto-code and I say with home, click OK, the new code is added to all of those responses. And if I click on this little X, it goes back to showing me all of the responses. For those of you working with MAXQDA Plus or Analytics Pro, you will see those two icons up here. It's a quick access to my dictionary, so maybe you want to create some categories connected to flexible work arrangements up here. And once you have the categories, you can auto-code the responses or the paraphrases or sentences or words with these dictionary categories right here within the categorize survey data workspace. And for those working with MAXQDA Analytics Pro, you also have quick access to the stats module, so you can continue to analyze the same responses statistically. The next topic I want to show you is connected to paraphrasing. So you know that in MAXQDA you have the paraphrase mode, in which you can go into your text, select something, whoops, that was a little too quick, select something and then paraphrase it into your own words. Let's say this is the question. This was already available for text and images, but now it's also available for video. So if I open up my interview with May here, you will see there's a new paraphrase icon right in the multimedia browser. I can click on it to activate it, and then I can go in here, pretty similar as I would in a Word document, in a text document.
How satisfied are you with the separation between work
and create a new paraphrase as I go.
I would say first.
After I've paraphrased my video or audio files, you can go to, let's say I'm going to activate this first. Go to the categorize paraphrases workspace, and you'll see that this one has also been updated. So now I have, again, a new ribbon menu that shows me all of the options that are available. I also have a search function right here, so I can search in, and the paraphrases, I can auto-code the paraphrases, pretty similar to what I was just able to do in the survey answers. And of course here I have my paraphrases from the video, so I can now use them to create my code system. Okay, and the last two features I want to show you are both new export options. The first one is the document profiles table. You can find it under the reports menu. And what it does, it will create a table that lists a document in each of the lines with selected code and variable information in each of the columns. When you open it, you can select which documents to include, which codes to include. You can also select which variables to include. I have already selected some. And then you click OK to save it as an Excel document. And the way the result looks is that you have a line for each of your documents, and then you have the document memo, the variables I selected with each of the values, and then the code frequencies for all of the code that I decided to include in my table document. And the second option is a new export for the Code Relations browser. If I open up the Code Relations browser for my activated codes and documents, I can now find a new export option to export an adjacency matrix to Excel, which those that do network analysis can then use in specialized software to analyze them further. And you just click on the export icon up here and then choose adjacency matrix down here from the menu, and then it is saved. And the way the result looks is that it has all of the codes in the rows and all of the codes in the columns. Even if you had different columns and rows in your code relationships, everything is included so that the other software knows exactly how to handle it, and you can continue your network analysis over there. And those were the highlights of MAXQDA 2022. You can find a complete list of everything that's new on the MAXQDA website, and of course you can download a 14-day free trial to test everything out yourself. We hope you have fun exploring the new features. Let us know what you think in the comments.